both teams also turned it over in the overtime before. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr hit wide receiver Zay Jones with a 31-yard pass to win it for the Raiders. College football, USC has fired head coach Clay Helton following a 42-28 home loss to Stanford on Saturday. Clayton was 46-24 in parts of 8 seasons with the Trojans. In baseball games of note, Blue Jays beat the Rays 8-1. Toronto holds the number 1 wildcard spot in the American League. They're a game up on New York. The Yankees walked off with a 6-5 win over the Twins in 10 innings. New York's also tied with Boston for the final wildcard spot in the American League. The Red Sox lost the Mariners 5-2. Seattle's 2 back in that wildcard race. The Giants become the first team in baseball to clinch a playoff spot by beating the Padres 9-1. I'm Eddie Garcia.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break, full show ahead. We'll talk to Rick Kaczynski, Robin Washington, as always on Tuesdays. How are you this fine Tuesday morning?
I'm doing fine.
I hope you had a better Monday than Clay Helton had.
Oh, yeah. He got canned, didn't he?
Clay Helton, no longer the head football coach at USC. It took him 2 games to get fired this year. He's been the talk of the rumor mill for a couple years now in terms of when is Clay Helton going to get fired.
Then they lost to Stanford,
who had just gotten beaten by Kansas State the week before. 42-28 loss will not help you to a team that does not score a lot of points, which is Stanford.
Yeah.
I mean, they could not move the ball at all against Kansas State the previous week.
Yeah, I think they got 233 yards against Kansas State.
Right, who is not exactly always a great defense. I love Chris Kleiman, don't get me wrong. I love Chris Kleiman, but 42 points to Stanford is going to get you canned once in a while, and Clay Helton officially out. The hot topic yesterday was how
are we going to get just possible replacements?
Oh, yeah, we will.
Okay, we can do that later.
Yeah, but Urban Meyer is the one people think should go there. It was such a terrible debut in Jacksonville. Again, it was one game, but it was against a horrendous football team the Texans are. They got beat so badly that people think, oh, all right, the guy that's going to be at top of that rumor mill is going to be already Urban Meyer.
What about Luke Fickell?
I like Luke Fickell, and Big Sky, we know, loves Luke Fickell. Do you think he's fit for USC?
Well, how about James Franklin?
That name is going to be a hot one for USC. I think that's a good fit out there.
I do too. I'd watch Franklin closely.
I thought
about Mario Cristobal.
He's doing well at Oregon, top 5 team.
He's an incredible recruiter.
Do you think he would make that leap to USC?
That's a good question.
He's got it going right now at Oregon.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I don't think USC is a total rebuild is the question. I don't think it's a huge mess.
No.
So that's compliments, I guess, to Clay Helton. He's not leaving it in shambles.
I would say the job's enticing.
Yeah. I think they have enough talent there. It's not a horrible place.
It's probably why you make the move, by the way, because
if you're Cristobal,
no,
it's anybody.
If you're the AD, no, if you're the AD at USC,
sorry,
because the job's too good. The job's too good not to be good. Okay, the job's too good for the program not to be good. So then you can go get a guy much better than Helton. All due respect.
Why were they hanging on to him for so long, though? It was pretty clear he was never going to be an elite head coach. He was fine. They weren't horrible in his tenure there, but they were never a national force you thought was going to be contending for the playoff or winning the Pac-12, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty accurate?
Solid guy.
They were never bad.
Yeah, solid guy is the best I can come up with. I mean, he wasn't going to get you in any trouble. He was safe. He wasn't going to embarrass anybody. They've had embarrassments there, right?
Yes,
they did. They had embarrassments. By the way, Dante Williams, the former Nebraska assistant, will be the interim head coach.
How about that?
Yeah. Hello.
Dante Williams. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Helton, the good guy factor helped him. The stability factor helped him. Think about it. They had the Lane train, and Sarkisian had all kinds of personal problems there.
Yep. back-to-back issues there, head coach.
Yeah. I mean,
but again, were they ever atrocious in terms of product on the field during those times? I mean, Sarkisian had issues off the field, but I don't think they were a bad football program when he was there. Even with Kiffin, they had some issues, they had some bad losses, but they weren't an atrocious team. Like I don't remember the last atrocious USC team that's been out there. They haven't been great,
right?
But they haven't been horrendous either,
right?
Right.
We'll delve into that later. Now we got to get into the Oklahoma discussion. Mike, I think Mike was on an Oklahoma radio show yesterday.
Well, let's get the tone started here. We have Mike on the phone line. Mike, you're on early break. Go ahead, man. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning,
I
Mike.
To give you a little bit of, I thought this was kind of interesting what Oklahoma feels. So I called an Oklahoma radio show.
You did?
Just to see their thoughts on the game. And I got through, and the guy I thought was the equivalent of your Milfy or Big Sky. I thought it was an EP.
Okay.
And so we talk a while.
Oh, okay.
He says, I'll get you on after the commercial. And we come on, and he goes, before I get Mike on here from Nebraska, I have to tell you, he was a pantheon of all callers. And this wasn't about me.
Okay.
He goes, he is the nicest guy I've ever talked to in all the years on this show. And the other guy, his co-host, goes, well, he's from Nebraska. Of course, these people from Nebraska are nice people. So I asked him what was going on in Norman and the feel and everything, and he says, well, what do you think about the rivalry? And I said, from 1970 to at least 2001, this was the best rivalry in college sports, bar none. I said, people can talk about Michigan, Ohio State, and I just say, please. There was no rivalry that had national implications like Nebraska and Oklahoma more years than not. Not every year, but most years. And I said what made it unique was the fact that the coaches, the players, and the fans had such enormous respect for each other. There wasn't cheap shots. There wasn't trash talk. Just healthy respect. I never missed a game in Lincoln in 2 decades. I went down to Norman because I knew I'd have a good time with the Oklahoma fans before and after the game, whatever the outcome was. And I said, what kind of encapsulates this rivalry in my mind is in the 1997 Big Ten Elite Nebraska football, in which Steve makes several appearances. Matt Hoskinson said, growing up, that was the rivalry. There was nothing else like it. And unfortunately, when we got to college, they were on a bit of a down cycle.
Right.
And that's the way I felt. Me and my friends, we rooted for Oklahoma. We wanted them to be great. We wanted the game to be between two great teams. And if Oklahoma was down and you beat them, it felt a little bit hollow.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's the epitome of what competition is all about. And so when I got done, he told some guy, cut that up. I want to put it on my podcast. So I'm assuming that they feel the same way about the rivalry. And then he said something kind of interesting. So I'll get to your question.
Okay.
He said, this is the biggest game in Norman in years.
Ooh.
He said, this is a bigger game than Notre Dame. And I looked it up, and it was 2012.
Okay.
They also played Ohio State. He said, this is the biggest game in years here. He said, fans are so excited. Yes, we think we're going to stomp you guys, but this game is huge.
Oh,
he said he talked about how the athletic director, when they found out it was 11 o'clock kickoff, just went nuts. They feel this game is a game that should be seen across the country in prime time. So it was kind of nice to see that, you go around the Big 10, and then I don't see much respect for Nebraska. And why should they? What have we done? But it's really nice that this is such a big game to Oklahoma. It just feels good to have that still be the case with a team you respect the heck out of. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, that's right. He's exactly right, Jake. I mean, I've talked to former players. I talked to Joe Washington. In fact, Mike would recognize the name Joe Washington. He's one of the best players to ever play for Oklahoma, one of the top 10. When you talk about Billy Sims, Greg Pruitt, those type of players, Washington was probably the most electrifying. And he said, be careful. He said, you got to be careful. He said, I don't want to say I like Nebraska, but he said I respected him, like Mike said. It's not. It was heated, but there was definitely respect. It did not feel like Colorado. It did not feel like Kansas State when that got hot. There wasn't the vitriol. It was an odd thing to me almost. It was definitely a respectful rivalry. Anyway, that can get us into the discussion. Now, I hope, God, the only bad news in that call is what? I mean, I hope the Oklahoma players aren't feeling about this game like the fans are, because then they'll be locked in.
Well, I think, I'm just going to try to speak for the players a little bit. They don't really know the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry. I don't really know it that well. I'm 30. Like, I know it, obviously I wasn't a part of the 70s, 80s. I was
totally
young in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was at my first game was the 01 game. I remember that game. That was incredible. That was awesome. The Eric Crouch catch game from Mike Stunts. That was amazing.
No, these players were born in, a lot of them,
right.
2000.
They don't know. I mean,
they were born in 2000. They were 1 year old when you were at that game.
Nebraska played in 2010 Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game, and they lost. They had a big lead and lost it. But that was past the time of the rivalry being hot. So I don't know if anybody on Nebraska or Oklahoma really understands
they don't.
Tradition, because I'm 30 years old and I know I wasn't even really part of the glory days.
I mean, Luke Reimer yesterday said he said was the game of the century in the 60s.
Yeah.
He goes 70s.
Right.
He goes, it shows you how much I know about it. Why would he know about it unless he looked it up? Unless he went back and read. But I mean, on the other hand, Adrian knew quite a bit about the rivalry because he's a college football junkie. But yeah, player after player yesterday told our Chris Basnet, who did a story on it. Yeah, I mean, these guys were born in the year 2000, Jake. What year were you born?
1991.
Yeah, see, okay, so you were born in 90. Well, now I want you to think about something.
Okay.
You were born in 91. From 92 to 98, Oklahoma didn't have a winning season.
That's hard to believe.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but from 92 to 98, Oklahoma went 7 straight years without a winning season. They might have had I think they had a 500 record in that period. So they were going through exactly in the 90s. I remember it, Jake, because I was a young guy at the Lincoln Journal-Star. Look at from 92 to 98. Tell me if they had a winning season.
92, 5-4.
Okay.
So that's a winning. 93, 9-3.
Okay. What? 98?
No, 93, 9-3.
Okay, keep going.
94, 6-6. 95, 5-5-1. 5-5-1.
Okay.
96, 3-8. 97, 4-8, 98, 5-6, and then 99, 7-5, 13-0 in 2000.
Okay, so they had a 4-year,
4-year stretch.
4-year stretch of nothing. Okay, so I was not exactly right. 92 to 98. Though I wonder what that overall record was. It was just over 500. So that they went through a defined down cycle right as you were becoming a little Jake.
Exactly. So
yes. I get it.
I didn't watch football when I was 3 years old.
When Frost was the quarterback at Nebraska, let me put it to you this way. In 96, Nebraska beat Oklahoma 73-21. When Frost was a senior, they beat him 69-7. They weren't games. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for Oklahoma, and I felt bad. I'm like Mike. I just felt bad for Oklahoma. Frost's appearances against Oklahoma were a 73-21 win and a 69-7 win. That wasn't
domination.
Yeah, Oklahoma was really, really in a bad way. They went through a bad time. Gary Gibbs didn't really work out.
He had 1 year of Howard Schnellenberger, 95. Then he went to John Blake for 3 years.
And it really spiraled under Blake, right?
That's when they went 3-8, 4-8, 5-6.
Yeah, it really spiraled under John Blake, the late John Blake, the great recruiter John Blake. So they went through in the 90s what Nebraska's going through now. That's what's they went through a period in the 90s that Nebraska's going through now.
Yeah. I have no doubt, again, that the fans going to this game are jacked up, and you should be. For Nebraska, if you're a player, even if you don't know the rivalry, it's a chance to beat a top 10 football team. It's a chance to go on the road and fire up. And yeah, for the fan base, it's the 50. It's the anniversary of the game of the century. But if you don't know what that means, hey, it's a chance for you to, on the game of the century anniversary, go upset in Oklahoma in their home stadium. So
yeah,
you don't need to. If you're a Nebraska player, you don't need to know the whole
no
history to get
No.
jacked up for this game
No,
and
you
fired
don't.
up and
No,
understand
absolutely not.
what it would mean for the fan base in the state.
I don't expect the kids to care about it, and I don't know if you're Frost. I don't know how much you even get into that. I don't. Do you hand them a handout that says here's a one page on the history of?
I think
Oklahoma,
maybe you
Nebraska.
show them like a 3 to 4 minute slide video.
There might be a cool way to do it. I don't know though. I don't know if you do that or not. I was kind of struck yesterday by how little the kids knew about it. But if you're not over 45, you wouldn't know a lot about it. I'm right at the prime age of knowing about it. You know, I went to the 78 game. That was one of the first games I ever went to. The 78 game. You have no idea what happened, but it was
I was not having a thought back then.
It was 4-1 in Lincoln, and Billy Sims, the great Oklahoma running back, they were going in to win. Oklahoma was going in to win and crush the soul of Nebraska. He was going in the end zone and fumbled the ball on the 2. And Jim Pillen, the gubernatorial candidate at Nebraska to be, recovered the ball, and it was mayhem in Lincoln. I'll never forget it. I was only 12, but I was at the game with my dad. And I'll never forget. It was incredible. That scene was incredible. I mean, and back then the games they just felt way different, Jake. I mean, it was everything. I mean, that stadium was shaking. I mean, it was almost crazy. But Billy Sims, of course, went on to win the Heisman Trophy. But that's the game. That's one of the games I remember. Like, it's probably the similar memory you have of going to the Oklahoma game with your dad.
No, the 0-1 game was incredible. The 0-1 game
was
incredible. Amazing.
Yeah, that was, and I remember that as Frank's. I remember that game really well because that was Frank's biggest win.
Well, that was a big win.
Yeah.
For a biggest win, that was a pretty big one. I mean, that was an incredible football game. The defense played lights out. Offense did well enough.
3-2, right?
It was 3 versus 2.
Yeah, that was 3 versus 2. It was a huge game. It was a great atmosphere.
That was my first. That was electric in there.
Yeah. That's
to a 10-year-old kid.
And that was very representative of the Oklahoma-Nebraska rivalry. I also remember Osborne losing his first 5 games against Oklahoma and the tension that caused. That first win that he got was in 78, and then they lost. It was an incredible year, Jake, because they beat Oklahoma. They finally beat Oklahoma. Osborne gets his first win. Then the next week, Nebraska loses to Missouri. And it was devastating because then what happened? You don't know this. I wouldn't expect you to. They got matched up against Oklahoma again in the Orange Bowl. It was horrible. It was horrifying. They finally beat Oklahoma. Then they have to play a rematch with them in the Orange Bowl, and that didn't go as well. So, yeah, the history there. And what I also remember about Oklahoma, and Mike and Chris understand this, Jake, they would come in and fumble 8 times and beat you. I mean, it was they had
That's pretty depressing.
They had such incredible talent. Elvis Peacock, Lott. I mean, they would come with Marcus Dupree. They'd come with all these Keith Jackson, these freaks, and they'd have so much talent. They could put the ball on the carpet 8 times and still beat you. Let's see what Chris has to say.
Let's get a call. Yeah. Chris, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Good morning, Steve Jake.
Hey, Chris, it must be a big week because you're back to back on Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, well, Steve, listening to you talk about those games, I mean, yeah, boy, what seared into the memory, just boy. And you know what, things being the way they have been here the last 5, 10, 20 years without a conference championship and stuff, and the program struggling, boy, you really kind of go back to those memories and think, boy, will we ever see that again?
God,
but boy, that was a good call from Mike. Very interesting.
Thank you,
Steve,
Mike.
Great. Steve, Jake, I've been down to Norman a few times. Actually, Steve, the last time I was in Norman was for that 96 game that you were talking about when Nebraska, I think it was like 70. What was that? 73-21?
Yeah, 73-21. Frost was a quarterback. 73-21.
Now, if I remember right now, Jake, now listen to this. If I remember right, Steve, that game I think was scoreless at the end of the first quarter.
Oh, I don't remember that. I
thought it was scoreless. Yeah, I may have to look that up in a box score, but I thought we were kind of nervous. Some of us down there sitting there, and if I remember right, there's a lot of empty seats down there.
Yeah, probably
at that time. But anyway, guys, great memories. But Jake, you and Steve talking about these kids, and I listened to Luke Reimer yesterday, and he at first he thought the game was in the 60s and stuff, but not these guys are so far removed, as far as their lives from that time. But think about it, Steve, Jake, their parents may not have even been born.
God. Yeah, some of them, you're right. I mean, their parents wouldn't even remember
true.
some of it.
You probably play.
You got to be 45. You've got to be about 45 to really have a stronghold on it.
Well, and you know what? Then you didn't see it. It's been 50 years ago.
Yeah.
But Jake, what was amazing about that game was two completely opposite teams. One led the nation in offense. One led the nation in defense.
71.
And yes, and it was the irresistible force against the immovable object, as Sports Illustrated with the helmets on the cover the week before the game put out. And it was just such a build-up to that game, and they had really manhandled all opponents going up to that time. But the stat I want to throw at you, and I think I've thrown this at you guys before, that wishbone offense, which no one could really figure out. And we really didn't slow it down that much in that game, Steve.
Right. I know.
But that team, Jake, from Oklahoma, led the nation in rushing that year with 400, I believe, and about 75 yards a game. Now, think about that. A game, and it is still, I believe, a national record 50 years later.
The other stat that you'll remember, and Jake can appreciate this because it's easy to appreciate. Think about Rich Glover as a middle guard having 22 tackles.
Incredible.
Rich Glover, that'd be like Damian Daniels on Saturday getting 22 tackles.
Not happening.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he just, if I remember right, Steve, watching that game on Thanksgiving in 71, I would have been 20 years old, but he was going up against what Oklahoma thought was an All-American center and a guy named Tom Brahaney.
Yes, that's exactly right. He was squared up against an All-American and had 22 tackles from the middle guard position.
Yeah, and even the announcer or the color man at that time, Bud Wilkinson, said Brahaney is definitely getting the worst of this matchup today. So you guys, it was just I mean, of course we're all biased here, but to me that was with what the implications. And then remember, Steve, Jake, on down the line, they were matched up against teams that were in the top 4 with them at that time in the bowl games, Auburn and Alabama, who they both manhandled in those bowl games.
Yeah, that's
right. So two great teams, and also remember, Colorado ended up number 3 that year.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, guys, what a great week, and I'm looking forward to this Saturday. And, hey, guys, great show, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
From the text line, Wet Blanket says this. Am I the only one who recognizes the irony that the 1971 Nebraska-Oklahoma game was defined by a punt return, and 50 years later, Nebraska has muffed a punt return 4 games in a row?
4?
They do against Rutgers. It's for 3 for sure. I don't know if they did against Rutgers.
Did they muff something?
I think
Rutgers?
you might think the Iowa game was last year. The Iowa game was not the last game of last season.
Right. But anyway, point
taken though.
Yeah, I get Wet Blanket's point. There is some irony there. I don't know. I mean, Jake, I got to ask you this. Maybe part of, or maybe just see what you think, is part of the reason maybe the younger set of Nebraska fans don't get into this conversation much, or a lot of them don't, is just because they don't want, I mean, Nebraska was so good that it almost they almost long for it too much, or it's just, or they just can't even imagine.
Well, they can't connect to it. They can't connect to it.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think we respect history, but it's also you long for something you can't have. You don't have it right now. You never had that before.
Yeah, I can't.
So it's hard for me to connect to the 50 years ago because I wasn't around, and Nebraska has not been that kind of relevant in a long time.
I mean,
since I was a kid.
I would never tell anybody to do this. I did it a few years ago, and I was captivated, and it struck me. It was something that impacted me for days. I just popped in a VCR of that game of the century, the broadcast. I have it. The broadcast of the game. And it is real, and Chris would understand, and folks of a certain age would understand. It is really striking how good those teams are. In 1971, I know what you're thinking. Oh, come on, it's just a bunch of old guys. There couldn't be any speed. Yeah, there was. It was incredible to watch. Johnny Rodgers. Jake, I wish you could have just saw Johnny Rodgers play. Johnny Rodgers. I know he's just a name in your head that means nothing.
Highlights of Johnny Rodgers.
Yeah, he was incredible. That was Nebraska had one of the most incredible. He won the Heisman Trophy at 71. He was a marvel. He ran as fast sideways as he did front ways. It was ridiculous. And here's the thing about Johnny Rodgers that people always forget: he never dropped the ball. It was he had incredible hands. You would throw Johnny the ball and you knew it was a catch. They just don't make him like that anymore, hardly. We just haven't seen much of that. He never would drop a ball over the middle. The guy was a freak. And again, Glover had 22 tackles, which
that's ridiculous.
From middle
defensive tackle,
guard.
Guard. Come on now, 22.
And it wasn't just stuffing the run between the tackles. He was all over the field, Jake. All over the field. Derek's calling.
Still one more call before it's Kaz.
He's calling from Highway 70.
Derek here on early break. Go ahead, man.
Guys, can you hear me? How's my connection?
We can hear you loud and clear.
You sound great. How's 77? How's the traffic flow?
Actually, it's for a Tuesday. It's moving pretty well right now. We're staggered out about a quarter mile apart from each other, so we're all being safe today because of this big game coming up.
Oh, smart man, Derek.
What's on your mind?
The thing, here's something for you, Sipple. You'll remember this. And Jake, I recommend you go back and listen to a bunch of Lyle Bremser broadcasts because here's why. The crackle of that man's voice when he would announce the names of the players are enough to give you chills up your spine. Am I right on that, Steve?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Now, here's a little piece of trivia. Do you remember the name of the punter? And I believe he also was a receiver that caught a touchdown pass, Steve.
Oh, I do not. Help me.
Joe Wiley.
Yeah, I do remember. Now that you refreshed me. Yes, Joe Wiley.
Remember the Bremser broadcast. He said, Wiley waits for the snap. Rodgers at the 20 fields the ball. He's hit and got away. He's to the 20 to the 35.
Wow.
And then we won't talk about the clip, but the rest is history.
Yeah.
And man, to hear that broadcast, I play it 3 or 4 times a season just for the heck of it.
Oh, thank you for that. That was good, by the way, Derek.
Like Lyle Bremser.
Derek, that was
just like Lyle.
That was an incredible imitation. I got the chills when you did it, so thank you.
Anytime, guys. Hey, have a great week. Love the stories. Love the history. Keep it up. Oh, and I love Chris calling too. Keep calling, Chris. And Vince, you're next.
All right, thanks, Derek.
Jake.
All right.
We kind of strolled down memory lane this morning.
Did. I wasn't really a part of it, but I was there in 01 though. 01. That game is still epic. That was my first ever Husker game, and I will never forget that. The scene there, the crowd,
the Vegas Bobcat. The Vegas Bobcat saying that's not who worked for Frank. Vegas Bobcat is saying that wasn't Frank's biggest win. What am I missing here?
Was it the 99 Big 12 championship?
Could be. Yeah.
Because he actually won a conference title game.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that that's the only other contender I can think of is the winning an actual conference championship.
Yeah.
In 99.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's got to be no worse than second for his win.
Vegas
the
Bobcat.
top 3 team.
Vegas Bobcat What was a bigger win?
I'm going to guess he says 99. Big 12 championship.
Okay. Beat Texas?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, God. This is embarrassing. See, we do this to ourselves sometimes, but it's more embarrassing for me. It was either Texas or Texas A&M.
Texas.
They beat the Horns, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the biggest
UT.
one. Yep.
So that's what was UT ranked?
I don't know. They were ranked.
You're not helping at all.
They won 22-6. Yeah, I wasn't alive. I was alive. They were number 12. Number 3 versus number 12.
I don't buy it, Vegas.
Well, it was to win a conference championship.
I'm saying Oklahoma win was
a little bit different when you do that.
Yeah, I'm saying Oklahoma. It's a conference championship. I'm going Oklahoma was the biggest.
Well, I would say probably that one.
The biggest
Oklahoma
win.
game.
Yeah, the biggest win of
the Big 12 championship, 22-6.
You remember the Oklahoma game way more. We didn't even remember the 99 conference championship.
We'll talk to Rick Kaczynski next on Early Break in the Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Cooler temps with an afternoon high of around 77. Winds turning out of the northeast at 10. Gradually clearing skies tonight. A low dropping down all the way to 52. Beautiful day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and a high pushing up near 80. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health. Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the NSCA, and I'm asking for your help. We know the best learning for our kids happens when they are in classrooms, in person, with their classmates and teachers. To help keep our public schools open for in-person learning, please follow health and safety guidelines from medical experts. Working together, our students continue to learn, grow, and thrive.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Join DP and Jay Foreman on Wednesday at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. DP will go 1-on-1 at 3 with Husker Online Sean Callahan, and Jay joins in from 4 to 6 to preview the Oklahoma game and more. That's all this Wednesday at Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Tailgating is back, and Sartor Heyman Jewelers is offering a deal that'll really fire you up. Receive a free Trigger Grill with a purchase of $2,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has dazzling jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a free Trigger Grill. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and get them while they're hot. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is Brad Moline, president of Allo Communications. I'm proud to say that Allo is supporting the FCC's Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. We are committed to bringing high-quality internet to everyone in our fiber communities. If you qualify for federal support or have been financially impacted during the pandemic, you may receive free 500 megabit internet from Allo. To find out more, please stop by the Allo store or go to allofiber.com/EBB.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We will get into the actual game here in a second, but while we're going down History Road here,
Jake,
we'll talk to Rick Kaczynski, former
boy.
Husker and Iowa defensive line coach. Good morning, Kaz. Hey, this is the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the game of the century this Saturday, Kaz. How would you describe the Nebraska-Oklahoma rivalry over the years? What does it mean to you as a college football connoisseur yourself?
Well, hey guys, good morning. I think the great thing about college football is the pageantry, the representation of the communities, the state.
Okay.
The guys who wore the helmet, and I know Coach Bowden said it, and several coaches have said it over the years. Prominent head coaches that football is the front porch of your university.
Yeah.
But I think not only the university, but the state, and it just means a lot. And I think why the rivalries are so important is because of the memories it creates. You guys are talking for 20 minutes about games. Jake, you mentioned you were there with your dad, Sip, back in '78 with his father. I think it's all those memories that you create. That excitement, that anxiety, that buzz, and it's oral history. So I think, when you talk about Oklahoma and Nebraska, it takes me back to being a kid and, going out and playing catch at halftime with myself, throwing the ball up in the air.
Is that right?
Nice. and calling my buddies and, playing tackle football in the yard and the rain, just all those things.
Yeah.
It just takes you back. Just means it just means a lot. And I think when, at that age, I remember looking out on the field. Heck, I looked at the guys at Erie Cathedral Prep like they were heroes. Look at these guys. You never saw yourself in that light sitting in the stands. You always viewed those guys that they were doing something that you wish you could do and you can't. And then when you actually get to that point where you can, it's just an amazing feeling. But I think, college football is so special. It's different than everything else because it represents so much, not just the players on the field, but the communities, the memories, the families, the entire university. So, that's when I think of Oklahoma, Nebraska, Texas, Southern Cal, Notre Dame. It just, you throw all those things in a pile, and that's what makes college football so great.
Joined by Rick Kaczynski, the former Notre Dame center, starting center for 3 years. Did Oklahoma recruit you, Kaz?
No, I don't believe so. I don't remember them recruiting me.
Would you even have considered it?
No. I'm sorry, Sid.
Would you even have considered Oklahoma at the time?
I probably because just because of my father and going back to him being a college guy like myself, going back to Bud Wilkinson and I think I was 10 years old and I knew who Bud Wilkinson was, and so I probably would have considered them, but heck, I don't know how good Oklahoma was at that time. I think they were a little bit down, but. Yeah, absolutely. Any program with prominence, definitely I was interested in. Absolutely.
Looking ahead to this weekend's game and beyond, Kaz, Nebraska did beat Buffalo 28-3, so they handled them at the end of the game. But in terms of how it looked, the offensive line was not really getting a push the majority of the game. And I'm curious, can they survive in Big Ten play if the offensive line plays like they did the last 2 games, really?
3 games.
Last 3 games, the whole season so far.
it's a little concerning, and as you guys know, we text through the games. I don't get a whole lot of response from.
Oh, come on, Kaz.
Because he's wrong, and I'm usually right about 99% of the time. So, but it's a little bit concerning. Actually, it's a whole lot concerning because when you look at the Buffalo game, you scored some points. You had the defense set up some short fields, and you had some big plays. Those big plays don't happen against Power 5 teams, guys. If you have one or two big plays in a game against a team like an Oklahoma or Iowa defense, you're pretty fortunate. So, what I didn't see on Saturday is a sustained drive, taking the length of the field, seeing a quarterback. I think Adrian did a heck of a job. He created those things. But I think when you look at Adrian's big run, avoiding those sacks, you're talking about a little bit different animal with Oklahoma's D-line, breathing down your neck than Buffalo's D-line. So, you're not going to see those plays against Power 5 teams consistently. So what you got to do is get into a rhythm, and yet through 3 games offensively, what's concerning for me is the Nebraska offense not getting in a rhythm, which, when it's going to eventually, the defense is going to wear down when they're consistently put back on the field. So, I think the offense and the defense, if you look at these teams across the country that are ranked very high and have successful seasons, the offense and the defensive schemes reciprocate. And right now, you're just not seeing that on the offensive side of the ball. I'm not saying it can't get fixed. This is going to be, you're going to still learn a whole lot about this team this coming week. So, hopefully you make some improvements. But, you got to be able to run through the tackles, between the tackles. You got to be able to get some first downs. You got to be able to get some 2nd and 4s where you can do some play action and put some pressure on the back end. Get those safeties worried about getting beaten over top. And I just hadn't seen that yet from Nebraska.
Kaz, here's the deal. Could Tulane's offensive line be that much better than Nebraska's? Tulane outscored Oklahoma 21-3 in the second half. Tulane put 400 yards on Oklahoma. Is that what we're looking at here? Tulane's got a better offensive line?
Well, I don't think a whole lot of people know too much about Tulane, and it's the first game of the season, Sip and Jake. I don't think, college football is so difficult. Winning is so difficult. You look at the NFL last night. Who would have thought the Raiders would have beat the Ravens, right? I mean, winning is difficult. And in this day and age, other than Alabama and even, Clemson and the Georgias, I mean, guys, there's a lot of parity. There's not a whole lot of different, and a lot of it has to do with scheme and matchup. First game of the year, I don't like getting into those comparisons because each week's a new week. I mean, if you can go back and then say, okay, well, look at Illinois beat Nebraska, but Illinois got smoked by Virginia and UTSA. I mean, when you start going that rabbit hole, it's like the internet. You can find anything to support your argument on either side. So I don't like getting into those apples and oranges and Rattler's picks. I think it was probably benefited Oklahoma a little bit by Tulane playing them close. Might have been a little bit of wake-up.
Yeah,
they might have taken their foot off the gas, read their own headlines a little bit and then come back to work on Monday and say, hey, we got some issues. Everybody's got holes, as we saw this past weekend watching Ohio State, which, I think we talked about that all over the summer, is how unimpressed Ohio State defense has been, and you look what happens. But I don't like getting into the comparison game. Everything's a new week. It comes down to scheme. It comes down to focus. It comes down to preparation, and it comes down to toughness and discipline, guys. And that's what's going to happen on Saturday, man. The team that's tougher, the team that's most disciplined. It sounds elementary, but it's really a simple game that adult men have tried to make extremely complicated.
Oklahoma scores a lot of points, Kaz. Nebraska's defense was very good against Buffalo, holding them to 3 points and not that, not impressive yardage, also under 400 yards in the game. But I'm curious, can Nebraska's defense keep them out of shootouts the whole season? This is going to be a tough game for that because of the offense that Oklahoma has. But are they good enough to keep them out of shootouts, which is weird thinking of a Scott Frost offense coming to Nebraska.
Once again, that's difficult, and I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite here a little bit. I think you gotta look at the Power 5 teams that you played so far, right? I think, and they've done a good job. I mean, Nebraska's defense credit, but no matter what, when you play a 12-game season, there's going to be a couple games where the defense is just a little bit off, where there's some type of thing schematically that they haven't seen or they got to adjust to in real time. So, there's going to be a time that the offense has to pick this thing up. So, to answer your question, Jake, I don't think there's nobody in the country that can survive without an offense that doesn't produce points, that doesn't produce first downs. You don't have to score every drive, right? Get a couple first downs and punt. Make the opponent. That's what Nebraska's offense has to do. They have to make the opponent drive the field, because Jake, when you drive the field, you got a better chance of the opponent making a mistake, right? So you can't give people short fields. You can't get backed up. You got to be really good in special teams. There's nothing wrong with punting the football and make the opponent drive the field. So I think that's what Nebraska's offense has to focus on. Their defense, they're solid. They don't give up big plays. You just got to continue that. If you don't give up big plays, you got a chance in every single game. But the offense right now, they got to get some drives together, get some first downs, and keep that defense off the field, make the offense of the opponent drive the field.
Yep, you're right. And the formula, that's part of the formula. Then turnovers and special teams, like you mentioned, Kaz. I mean, you have to force some turnovers against Oklahoma to have a chance. That's what.
Oh, absolutely. And as much as they throw the football, you got an opportunity.
There you go.
You really do. You got an opportunity to do those things. But but also Oklahoma, what I've seen from them over the last couple years, what they do too, as much as a passing offense that Lincoln Riley has, when they get a lead, and I think a little bit of this happened against. I think they learned their lesson against Tulane. In years past with Riley, when they've gotten a lead, they took over the game at the line of scrimmage with the offensive line. I think they got a little bit too cute with Tulane, started throwing the ball around, and people do this early. You want to get things on tape, and I think that's where they screwed up. So what Oklahoma, what you can't allow Oklahoma to do is get up 2 scores and then sit on the ball and shorten the game.
Yeah.
So Nebraska, once again, you can't give Oklahoma a short field. I think go look up that statistic. When they have a short field, their percentage of how often they score a touchdown. I can't remember the exact number, but it's freaky. It's freaky. So you got to make Oklahoma drive the field. You got to keep the ball. If you don't turn the ball over, guys, you're gonna be in every game. It's really pretty simple.
All right, Kaz.
Always great stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me
I'll try to do better on the text.
Kaczynski.
I'll try to do better on the text. I'm not very good about returning text. Jake would tell you that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in a group message.
Oh, yeah. I don't do the group message thing very well at all. No.
It's overrated anyways.
Oh, well.
I'm not a big group texter, but I will participate once in a while in them. Thank you to Kaz.
Jake.
Always wonderful stuff from him. When we come back, song of the day, and I got to tell you, Sip, you didn't watch it, but I got to tell you about the best viewing experience I think I've ever had from Monday Night Football and why that was.
Okay. I'm anxious to hear that.
That is up next on Early Break on the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Tailgating is back, and Sartor Heyman Jewelers is offering a deal that'll really fire you up. Receive a free Traeger grill with a purchase of $2,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has dazzling jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a free Traeger grill. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and get them while they're hot. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. there was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Venue at Home is your answer for locally made, freshly prepared meals delivered to your door every week. Our meals come ready to heat and eat. With sizes for 2 people or 4, Venue at Home is perfect for busy people who want a quick, easy, and delicious meal option to share with your roommates or feed the whole family. Add on from our wide selection of appetizers, sides, desserts, alcohol, and more. Receive a discount on your meals by subscribing to get Venue at Home delivered every week. Visit venueathome.net to order today. That's venueathome.net.
Join DP and Jay Foreman on Wednesday at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. DP will go 1-on-1 at 3 with Husker Online Sean Callahan, and Jay joins in from 4 to 6 to preview the Oklahoma game and more. That's all this Wednesday at Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill. What are you doing, Sip?
I thought the chickens could use some more light in their lives.
So you're building what exactly?
It's a motion censored switchboard. Duh.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Of course. Ow! God! Ow!
Seems like a job for a professional.
Just one more wire. Yep, there you go, right there.
Don't be like Sip. Call Joe at Ambition Electric for any of your electric needs at 402-217-3415.
We're gonna eat pizza from Casey's and watch the football games. Yeah, enjoy the season with delicious Casey's pizza. 2 tasty pizzas for big game days.
Now at Casey's, you can get 2 large single-topping pizzas with delicious made-from-scratch dough for $9.99 each with promo code DOUBLE.
Casey's here for good. Yeah!
Hey guys, looking for that extra confidence when it's time to have fun? Let me tell you about BlueChew.com. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. BlueChew tablets help men combat all forms of ED. BlueChew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TICKET at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code TICKET, to receive your first month free.
Want to get a hot and perfect body fast? It's so easy. All you have to do is eat lots of bananas, but peels only, and always be sweating, but never look sweaty. That's disgusting.
Don't follow extreme routines. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness. Now through September 16th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. And get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends September 16th. See Club for details.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I got a room at the top of the world tonight. I got a room at the top of the world tonight, and I ain't coming down. I ain't coming down. I got someone who loves me tonight. I got over $1,000 in the bank, and I'm alright.
Song of the day, Room at the Top by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Texture rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
What you were looking for. I got a room at the top of the world tonight. I got a room at the top of the world tonight. I got a room at the top of the world tonight, and I ain't coming down.
Song of the day again, Room at the Top by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers from 1999. That was late in the Tom Petty era there, Sip. 464-56851. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Texture rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
You went to a Tom Petty deep track.
That was very deep. Well, it's a late track for Tom Petty.
Yeah, a
99.
deep track and a good one. I've probably only heard that song 10 times. So that
It's
would
not
be
on radio anywhere.
No, that would be about 11. In the dozen range. I've probably heard it a dozen times. I was struck by it the first time I heard it. So it's a minimum. It's a minimum 9 because your creativity's through the roof.
Minimum 9.
Yeah, minimum 9. I got to start there because your creativity's through the roof, and it's a great song. Petty. I can only think of about 3 Petty songs that I don't really like. Like 3 out of how many?
Can you name them?
Yeah, there's one I don't like that everybody don't do it. Like George Strait redid it.
Okay.
There's one I can't say it off the top of my head right now. I'm blanking. There's only a few. You Wreck Me. I'm not a big fan of that song. Just a
not my favorite.
No,
it's average.
It's one of the songs that gets redone, like the Goo Goo Dolls redid it. I'm like, just don't do
You Wreck Me. You don't like that one. Interesting.
Don't like that song. But
I'm fine with that.
I'll give that, because of your creativity and just how good the song is, a 9.1.
Harrison is back from a trip to Nashville.
Yeah, welcome back. Can everybody welcome back Harrison?
Yes, collectively, you can text or just say it in your car. Welcome back,
Yeah,
Harrison.
welcome back, Harrison.
We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Harrison's back from Nashville, and he said it was wild.
Yeah, well, it is. I call it Nash Vegas. That's what they call it, Nash Vegas, Nashville.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild.
It's one of the biggest growth cities in America. It's a young person's place. It's not for olds.
I've been there. It's a great place.
It's not for olds.
You could find a place there.
Yeah, I could.
There's bars for you downtown.
Yeah, thank you. And there's hot chicken.
Oh, I could go with hot chicks.
Yeah, I know. Hot chicken.
And there's hot chicks too.
Hot chicken. There's hot chicken.
You add the E end to that.
Real hot chicken.
Hot chicken.
They're hot chicken.
I'm gonna guess 1.8 for Harrison.
No,
not a fan of that at all.
Okay, Harrison.
Nope.
There he is. He's right in front
He
of
didn't like it. Too slow.
Harrison gave that a 2.5.
3.6. Tough start.
From being back.
Yeah.
3.6.
I'm sorry, Harrison. I couldn't play.
Harrison,
I should have played some Kid Cudi for Harrison. You would have liked that one.
Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
What's Kid Cudi?
He's like,
Harrison, what is Kid Cudi?
Rap.
Okay.
Okay.
Jake, rap.
9.4. Someone says never heard the song before, but it sucked. Jake, all right. Frank says a 3. Chaz says 8.3. 10 plus from somebody. 5.5. 8.2 from Scott and Stonebridge Creek. Cruz says an 8.
Okay.
Alexander says a 7.8. John Des Moines, got a guess there.
John, hard to read. I'll say 5.
He says proof that even a great artist has a bad day. A 3.
Oh man.
-1 from Tyler in the Highlands. He's having a good morning. I just ruined it. Sorry, Tyler.
Tyler.
7.8 from Brian T. Big Kahuna, -2. Someone says, my God, that's a bad song. Easy reality. 2 out of 10 and a 3. Okay.
All right, what was your viewing experience? You
all
won
right.
the game last night, the Raiders.
So the Raiders won just an incredible football game. The Raiders beat the Ravens last night 33-27 in overtime. They were down by 3 points with 40 seconds to go, drove for a field goal, 55-yarder to tie the game by Daniel Carlson to force overtime.
I'm sorry, say the last name.
Daniel Carlson.
Okay.
Former Vikings kicker from a couple years ago. I think he's made like 23 straight kicks now. Pretty impressive. And then in overtime, the Raiders look like they scored a winning touchdown. All right. They're going in for the touchdown, a deep pass, and the guy reaches out and he's down at the 1. And the Raiders don't get it on 1st and goal. Then they get a false start on their own hard count. They got a false start. Incomplete pass, 3rd down. They're throwing a slant pass from the 5, and it's intercepted. I'm like, oh my. Sip, before this, they were all at midfield, like shaking hands because they thought the game was over. They thought he'd scored, but they said he's down at the 1. So they had to go back to their sidelines, and he throws a pick. Then Lamar gets the ball back, but fumbles, and the Raiders, then the Raiders throw a touchdown to win the game, 33-27. The first actual game with attendance at Allegiant Stadium in the Raiders. The second year they've been in Vegas, but there was no fans last year.
I bet that stadium looked incredible.
It was packed. But
and the stadium's incredible.
But the viewing experience, there is no reason anymore to watch on regular ESPN. If you are going to watch Monday Night Football, you don't watch Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and whoever else is on the broadcast. You go to ESPN2, you watch Peyton Manning and Eli Manning watching the exact same game, talking about it. They had Travis Kelce on the broadcast for a quarter. They had Russell Wilson on for a quarter and a half. Talking about the game as it was going on.
Interesting.
Previewing the next games ahead, talking about their view, great quarterbacks of all time, discussing what's going on, what's going through the quarterback's head, the defense's head. I mean, it was an incredible experience. And one of my favorite parts was that this is the first game that the Raiders have had fans in the stands. And Peyton's like, when you guys have the ball, you got to shut up. Like there was a point where he had to tell the crowd to calm down. He's like, you make noise when you're on defense, not when you're on offense, Raiders fans. Like he was adamant about that.
Yeah, interesting. Jake, that is really interesting.
Sip, I know you don't watch a lot of NFL, but you would love the NFL broadcast with Peyton Manning, Eli, and friends. That was incredible. It's just an incredible viewing experience.
Isn't that interesting what ESPN's doing? Are they cutting into their own ratings?
Yeah, they're cutting into ESPN's ratings.
Yeah.
The ESPN2 is going to surpass ESPN on that.
Do you think
eventually?
so?
Not right. It's going to take a little bit, but if people were smart, they would watch the Manning broadcast every single time. Like I will not even. I watch the ESPN broadcast, and Levy's fine. I don't hate
Levy's
those
fine.
I don't hate those guys.
And Greasy's good.
But my viewing experience was enhanced tenfold when I went to the ESPN2 broadcast.
That is fascinating.
You would love it.
That is fascinating.
I bet you Parker Gabriel, who loves that kind of, I bet he was all over that last night. I bet he watched that broadcast.
We'll ask Parker.
Why don't you ask him?
We'll
today?
ask him tomorrow.
Ask him today about it too.
Well, yeah, I'll ask him today at practice.
I bet he loved it. It's my guess.
Yeah. See, so why I didn't watch it because I went straight from Memorial Stadium when I got done with one column at 3:00. Okay. And then I went to Scooters to work from 4 to 8:30. And then I went home and walked Bullet, and that's it. I mean, I'm done at 9.
Sleep.
Yeah. I mean, I had to go write my Friday column because I'm on the damn speech circuit this week.
Yeah, I know you are.
Like 3 of them during the middle of the week. So I don't have I shouldn't say this stuff on the radio, by the way, but one of the trips is to Kearney. So it takes out my Wednesday.
Cunningham's?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cunningham's on the lake.
Love that place.
Yeah. Cunningham's on the
Shout
lake.
out Cunningham's and Kearney. That place is
listening
incredible.
in Kearney, I'll be there at noon.
Tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And so it takes out my Wednesday of writing because I got to do a podcast, when I get back. And the day's pretty much done at that point.
Shout out Cunningham's. That place.
Cunningham, you love that place.
Cunningham's in the Lake is maybe the coolest restaurant in the entire state.
Ooh, hello.
If they ever want to advertise with us, I would love to have them on. I love Cunningham's.
Cunningham's on the lake. Maybe I'll talk to Mike, the owner.
Again, so watch the Manning broadcast. At the point of this segment was, no more need to watch ESPN. Watch ESPN2. As long as it's on that channel, the Manning broadcast is 8 million times better than ESPN's broadcast and is well worth your time.
I really appreciate that, Jake.
Top of the hour next on Early Break in the Ticket. Last thing before break, guys. Hey, I've been telling you for a long time about my friends at Craft Axe Throwing. Well, they've got some special things for the fall, including College Day on September 1st. They're relaunching College Night for the new year. That's $15 an hour with a valid college ID every Wednesday, plus National Girls Night September 22nd, and Glow Throw coming up. That's a date to be determined still in September, but probably in the middle of the month. We'll give you updates as that comes along. Don't forget, league starting September 14th. Signups are live on the website at craftaxethrowing.com. And also, a chance to be on ESPN. They've got around 10 people within the company who will be throwing for the World Championships coming up in September. Again, it's all at Craft Axe Throwing. Make sure to always call to rent a lane at 402-802-9696 or go online to craftaxethrowing.com. That's all at Craft Axe Throwing. New specials for the fall at 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Andy, when people drive by your lot, they don't see as many new Hondas as normal, but I'm told you have hundreds on the way.
We sure do, Charlie. We have more than 500 to choose from that are either here or on the way. Most of them are inbound.
Do you still have that great financing, Andy?
We do, as low as 0% APR financing on select new Honda.
What about used cars and trucks?
Well, right now we have more than 120 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, and just about any make or model. And we have over 50 certified pre-owned Hondas to choose from.
Andy, that is really great news for your customers. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Venue at Home is your answer for locally made, freshly prepared meals delivered to your door every week. Our meals come ready to heat and eat. With sizes for 2 people or 4, Venue at Home is perfect for busy people who want a quick, easy, and delicious meal option to share with your roommates or feed the whole family. Add on from our wide selection of appetizers, sides, desserts, alcohol, and more. Receive a discount on your meals by subscribing to get Venue at Home delivered every week. Visit venueathome.net to order today. That's venueathome.net.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Need a better job? Looking for a career? Gaina Trucking and Excavating is what you're looking for. They are a rapidly growing company looking for a heavy mechanic. Gaina Trucking and Excavating offers a team culture with lots of benefits, including 401k, health, annual raises, paid vacation, holidays, and much more. It's a great career opportunity. Want to love what you do? Join the Gaina Trucking team. Apply online at www.gainatrucking.com. That's www.gainatrucking.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Tuesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, an early break. Fun show so far. You got the podcast at theticketfm.com. You can always call or text the show at 464-5685. I have been informed that we have a call for the first time in months from a good friend of this show and this station. And that, of course, is Greg in Myrtle Beach. Greg, you are starting off the hour. Go ahead, man. Long time no speak.
Aloha, boys.
Aloha to Greg.
How are you, Greg?
Living the dream, Sip.
Good.
Living the dream.
Good.
Full-fledged, got Tidewater, the Pebble Beach of the East this morning, then heading over to the beach. It's full-time bikini season, which leads to the best season of all, which is tan line season.
Tan line season. All right.
Oh, boy.
All right, Greg.
Oh, boy. All right.
Now, we are, pardon me, boys, but we are running a little, to quote the great American philosopher Eddie Van Halen, we're running a little bit hot tonight.
Oh, boy.
Okay, are we running hot? Are we running hot?
Outside of the Husker bubble, we are tired of hearing all of this PC crap about the love and respect for Oklahoma. Okay, let me give you a little background
Here
on
we
this
go.
one, boys. 50 years ago,
Uh-huh.
the greatest moment of unbridled joy in my life happened in Owen Field when my man Johnny the Jet took that damn kickback.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on Saturday, 50 years later, my father, I'm rolling him in there in a wheelchair
Okay.
Okay.
for this game.
Oh,
Okay, now I'm sick and tired of hearing about all of this respect. Let me give you this.
Here we go.
Nebraska, Oklahoma is the Hatfields in the McCoy.
Oh, boy.
Those thugs in Norman have stolen, ripped off, and cheated us out of as many national championships as we've won. They are officially Probation University, and I can't believe that the people of Nebraska have forgotten all of this misery that they've caused us. And since that game 50 years ago, it's been my personal passion and obligation, and it's the birthright of every God-fearing Nebraskan to hate Oklahoma from the bottom of their souls. That damn Sooner schooner and a fight song that came straight out of the pit of hell. And if you don't hate Oklahoma, then you don't love Nebraska. I don't care what your age is.
Oh,
These are the facts. And that's why when the Golden Boy tried to cancel this damn game, we leaked it to Dennis Dodd and McMurphy, because on Saturday, I'm pushing my dad in there.
Yeah.
And Nebraska is going to go into Owen Field, and you're going to strap it on, and you're going to measure up, and we're going to see what you've got. So
Okay.
I think we all know what we've got, which is not much. But the best news of all is, if you don't hate Oklahoma now, you've got 5 days to learn to hate Oklahoma.
All right. Greg, let's go.
You pick up your history book, you watch and see how this whole thing shook out, and you did not have to be alive. If you're a Nebraskan, it's in your blood to hate Oklahoma.
You're wheeling your dad in there. Hey, now I'm going to try to find you, okay? I'll be down on the sideline before the game. Hopefully I can maybe find you.
If the security around the distinguished columnist emeritus Stephen M. Sipple is, you can't get through that chain, man. Come on, Sip.
Absolutely. It's just Baz. I mean,
he's pretty easy to get through, honestly.
It's just Chris Baz.
And one more thing, boys,
All
that
right.
all of your listeners need to realize: this is how important this is.
Okay.
This ain't no one-time shot.
Okay.
If you don't hate them now,
Okay.
remember,
Okay.
this is Tom's legacy.
Yeah.
Tom and Castiglione, the AD at Oklahoma, booked this series. And this, my friends, is a 4-gamer. This is 21 in Norman, 22 in Lincoln, 29 in Norman, and 30 back in Lincoln. And here's the good news.
Okay.
Next year, good Lord willing, if I'm alive, I'll come out there to Lincoln. I'm coming to Firth. And we're going to the damn stadium. And if you don't hate Oklahoma, I'll be there to teach you how to hate
Okay,
Oklahoma.
all right.
A lesson. Yeah.
Greg, this is incredible.
You are fired up.
Yeah.
Greg is running hot tonight.
The Sooner fight song came from the pit of hell.
that was great, Greg.
Greg?
You still there, Greg?
Yes, sir.
Are you with us?
Yes, sir. Sip, I hope I get to shake your hand down there. But either way,
Yeah,
you
either
talk
way.
to the players and you talk to the people. If you don't have the passion, if this doesn't get your blood boiling, hell, I played in a Final Four. I got 2 Final Fours in my family.
Okay.
This game means more to me than any damn thing.
Okay. All right.
You can't lose. We can't go down there and get our hats handed to us by those thugs. Get in there and tell those boys to get their crap together.
Okay.
And get down there and catch a punt and block. And let's not get ourselves embarrassed. Let's win a damn game that means something.
All right.
Come
All right.
on.
All right. All right. Thank
Greg.
you, Greg.
All right, Greg. Thanks for the call.
All right. Now it's interesting.
Man, that was full of passion.
Yeah, it was. Now he comes at it from a little different
Beautiful.
angle
Just beautiful.
than the nice talk about respect. Now, Greg, that's mainly player driven, like former player driven. If Tony Davis were listening right now in Colorado, which he's probably not, or Joe Washington were listening in Oklahoma, or any number of guys from those eras, I wonder what Jim Pillen would say. Greg, I think they would say it was a respectful rivalry, but I will say this. I told you, Jake, I talked to Joe Washington, and Greg recognizes the name Joe Washington. Doesn't mean a hill of beans to you, I know, but he's like a Johnny Rodgers of Oklahoma. And when I tried to characterize it as a friendly rivalry, Joe Washington bit back at that. He said, Now, first of all, Joe Washington's super funny. He's got a ton of charisma. He said, no. I won't. I'm not saying it's friendly. I'm saying it's respectful. We respected each other.
Okay.
But we tried to kill each other on Saturdays. So but you heard that. But Jake, what you heard this morning was what? What'd you hear in the first hour from Mike?
Well,
there was that he loves going down to Norman,
and they love Nebraska fans.
Yeah, and they love to party
Radio
after
Fest,
the
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Now, then, what'd you hear from Greg?
Greg hates Oklahoma.
A different tune, right?
Doesn't like him at all.
So I don't know. I would say it's a respectful rivalry.
I just like the passion that Greg had, though. That's what I need to hear. I love that.
He's going to be down there at Owen Field.
I know.
He's going to be at Owen Field with his dad.
I know that.
That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing.
I hope he sees a good football game.
Well, we can get to that. There's there's three things that come to mind. Is the offensive line going to show up, Jake? Nebraska's. Is it going to show up?
Well, they've been 0 for 3 so far in showing up. So to show up against a top 5 team is hard to expect.
How many of the 5 guys that are injured are going to play? That's the second thing that comes to mind. Okay, is Vokalek going to play? Has Travis Vokalek, tied in, has some sort of, he's got a left foot ankle problem. Is he going to play for the first time this year? Austin Allen banged his head on the turf. Frost confirmed it yesterday. It's a head issue. All right. Is he in concussion protocol? Is Austin Allen going to play, Jake?
I have no idea.
Is Oliver Martin going to play?
Don't know.
Hasn't played the last 2 games. Big. I mean, he had 6 receptions against Illinois. I get it. Teray has kind of become the receiver du jour. But I'm not.
He can't do it by himself.
I'm not certain that he's better than Oliver Martin.
Well, still, he also needs help too.
He
can't do it by himself.
Is Omar Manning going to play? Is Omar Manning going to play? He's in a boot. I think he was close to playing against Buffalo. And my read on it is they held him out to get him ready for Oklahoma. Is Xavier Betts going to play? Jake, I just ripped off 5 of their very best skill players.
The problem with this is even if those guys play, does it help Nebraska in preparation for them to be game time decisions?
Well,
you need to know by Thursday.
I love what Scott said. Yeah, I love what Scott said yesterday. Scott is an old school guy at his core, I think. And he said, yeah, there's certain guys, veterans, that can get through and you can and not practice much and they can be ready for the game. But what he said, what I really liked is this is a sport you have to train for. I'm not big on this whole deal of people saying, Sip, come on, he's a veteran, he doesn't have to practice. I don't like it. I've never liked that comment. You practice. It's a sport you have to train for.
It's a team that hasn't been winning. You need to practice. You
Yeah.
You haven't earned anything
You can't
in
have
terms of a right to not practice.
Yeah, you can't have a bunch of key guys standing there saying, well, I'm not going to practice until Thursday. I'll be ready for the game. If you can practice. So, but anyway, those are I guess I said three things, but those are the two things that come immediately to mind. The third thing is, if they're going to win this game, Jake, come on. You can't turn it over a bunch, and you better be good on special teams. And don't give up big play after big play, and don't go 3 and out. We talked about that yesterday. What if Nebraska's going 3 and out repeatedly and handing the ball to that offense?
That's not good.
Good night, Irene.
Yep, you're not going to get where you want to go in this game.
Right. Those are the factors.
Several people are saying that we need to cut up the fight song from the pits of hell quote from Greg, and
I think we do
play that this week the rest of the way. Yeah, we'll do that. That was
Harry's all over it.
Harry,
are you all over that?
That was an incredible moment.
That was
really. It's fight song is from the pits of hell.
He's talking about Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. Yep, that was great. If you have any more fire like that, man, it's tough to follow that call up. I'll tell you that much. 464-5685 call or text as always. Again, you can watch the Sauter Heyman Jewelers video stream and comment there on
Think
Facebook,
about
Twitch,
the calls
or YouTube.
we got today. Mike shared his story from a phone call he made to an Oklahoma radio station. Derek did a Lyle Bremser imitation.
That was
it gave me the chills.
That was actually pretty good. Well,
Yeah.
Derek, if you're listening, well done on Lyle Bremser.
And Greg brought serious heat. Thank you.
And Chris
God, how could I
Chris
forget my
brought
friend
history
Chris?
as well.
Yeah, Chris always brings incredible history. Jake, what a show.
Is there any part of you that thinks, I mean, this is a chance you're going against a offensive genius?
Give me a break.
No, I'm just telling you what
Are
people
we
say.
really calling him an offensive
I'm
genius?
telling you what people say about Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
They say he's an offensive genius.
Oh, yeah, the offensive genius has done really well in the college football playoff.
I'm just saying
offensive genius.
I am just saying what people say about him.
Give me a
You can
break.
disagree all you want, and I don't know if I agree, but he's labeled as an offensive genius, right?
I guess. Yes.
Do you if you're Scott Frost, I think you're a competitive guy. I would think you're pretty dang competitive as a head coach. You want to win this football game. Do you think we'll start seeing signs of the offensive genius is actually back in play here at Nebraska?
Well, so what
this
you're
is a
getting
chance
at-
for you to unveil something we haven't seen.
Wrinkles.
Show us a wrinkle. Show us a trick play. Show
Show
us
it-
something we haven't seen that maybe you can use in Big Ten play
A little
too.
more work on the perimeter, maybe perimeter runs a little. Maybe you would see that. Jake, I don't know the whole wrinkle thing. Here's the deal with the whole wrinkle thing. You still got to have blocking up front. They got to block better, Jake. You know what football is, Jake? It's blocking and tackling. Okay, Nebraska's tackling well. They are. I was inspired watching Nebraska's defense. But you got to block. Jake, you got to block. Football's blocking and tackling. If you're only doing half of that, you're not going to beat Oklahoma.
You're not going to win many football games, probably.
Right, not against
If you're
good,
doing
not
one.
against good teams.
Right.
Got to block. Can't whiff. Can't let linebackers come free. I saw that a couple times. Like not on blitzes either. I'm just talking about blowing up plays because they weren't touched.
They weren't even touched at all.
Hello.
You got to get a hand on that guy.
Right.
Somebody's got to move and
Right.
touch him.
I know it was hot, but maybe you lost your bearings or something. But that was a blue jersey. It shouldn't be
The
hard to
bearings
pick out.
were lost too often. Once okay, I understand. But why is it several times?
There were people.
This guy's coming through unblocked.
Yeah, and it wasn't a blitz. There's some people that lost their bearings on that hot day, including some people in stripes.
Yeah,
that lost their bearings. How about Frost getting in a nice shot yesterday on the phantom pick call on Wyatt Lever? He was asked if Nebraska could do anything different on that play, and Frost said, "On that play, I don't think we could have done anything different." What a way to get your point across without putting yourself in harm's way. Fine wise, can't fine him for that.
No, not at all.
He just said no, he wouldn't have done anything differently. That was one of the worst calls you'll ever see.
Well, also the lateral call.
The lateral call was absolutely one of the worst calls you'll ever see. There was 3 worst calls you'll ever see. They missed the guy made the field. Connor Colt made the field goal.
They took 17 points off the board on 3 horrendous calls.
They took 17 off the board. Think about that.
And then there's also the questionable holding call that prevented the Xavier Betts touchdown. I'll say that one's probably a hold.
Oh, probably okay, but it was.
Otherwise, there's 17 points wiped off the board by just really bad calls. And I don't like to blame refs.
I don't either.
I'm not a ref guy.
I don't either.
I don't like to play that game where you just always blame the refs. But
I don't either. I'm not blaming them.
Something was amiss there.
They didn't affect the outcome, so it is what it is. That's why. But I won't blame refs for an outcome. But man, you cost the home team 17 with bad calls. Come on. I mean, that's one of the most. You know me, Jake. I never talk. Do I ever talk about officiating?
No, very, very rarely, and I don't either. Neither of us do. It's not part of our MO. We don't do
really
that.
not. We don't play that card.
We understand there's human error in officiating. It's not a perfect science, but man, if you have that many consistently poor calls,
well, I would just invite anybody to watch that touchdown pass to Toure that got erased by. I don't even like to call it a pick because there was no pick. There's no pick play.
The quotation, the air quotes, the pick on the play.
Oh wow, Vegas Bobcat. Okay, but Vegas, you're trying to get my attention, and you did.
Oh boy,
Vegas Bobcat says you are both whining about legitimate calls. Well, did you watch the game, Vegas? Did you watch the game? Do you even know what you're talking about? Did you watch the game? Because if you watched the game, you couldn't have that take. I love you, but come on. You apparently were working or something.
I wasn't actually watching it there. Before we get to break and Robin Wash, I want to play this quote from Samori Toure yesterday. He was pretty good at the podium.
He's always really good.
Talking about, it's obviously your big underdog.
You were worried I was going to attack Vegas, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were
23-point underdog. Nebraska is against Oklahoma. But he's asked, what gives you the belief you guys can shock the world and beat Oklahoma on Saturday?
Just in our preparation, and what type of team would we be if we didn't believe? We're always going to have belief in ourselves. I have belief in our teammates and our coaches and in our game plan, and just all the work that we put in throughout the offseason. How we bounced back from that game one and had two really strong games. I see no reason why we can't go in there and shock the world.
What type of team will we be if we could not believe? We did believe. Come on, that's a great quote. That's exactly what you need to say.
Samori Toure is a gem. And now the other part of this discussion that he was asked, you have to play a perfect game. No, don't. First of all, who plays a perfect game in football, Jake, ever? Who plays a perfect game?
Nobody.
Hardly anybody. No, Nebraska doesn't have to play perfect, and I'll tell you why. Tulane fumbled and lost 3. Okay, they've lost 3 fumbles, Tulane. They had 6 penalties against Oklahoma, lost 3 fumbles, and they were right there at the end. They get that first down late, came a half yard from getting a first down on 4th and 13.
Yep.
If they get that, they're in business.
No, they're at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they're in business
with 2 minutes, a minute and a half to go.
Yeah,
plenty of time.
Yeah, they weren't close to perfect. Tulane was not close to perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go down there and
you just need your defense to not implode and give up big plays.
And can't go 3 and out.
You need your offense to help out. Yeah. Don't put points on the board for Oklahoma with a pick 6 or fumble 6.
God.
Don't have a punt return for a touchdown or a punt block or safety on a punt return.
I would say this. You asked me this question. You asked the question. After hearing, you asked this, we didn't get to it. After hearing the press conference on Monday, how do you assess Nebraska's belief? I think it's strong. I mean, Jake, my sense was Nebraska's, that it doesn't feel like they're intimidated. I can tell you, I talked to Adrian one-on-one after the press conference. They feel good about these last 2 games. They needed them too. They did not feel like that Illinois game was representative of what they are. I know you're shaking your head.
No, they can prove it. That's not the case if they hang out with Oklahoma.
Right. They feel like they feel good about these last 2 games. It doesn't matter what we think.
That's why I said it's important, and it was important for me to just beat Buffalo. Do not go 1-2 into Oklahoma, and they beat them soundly. They beat them by 25. It could have been more than that.
Yeah. If you tack on 17, what's the score there? Say it.
45 to 3 against I think a pretty decent squad. Respectable MAC squad.
Yeah, that's with three.
Which I thought would be a 3-point game.
That's with 3 missed field goals too, by the way. Well,
Yes.
2. I mean, he missed 2.
Yeah, but 3 on the board.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, the fact they won, but I think they didn't look great in the game and still won by 25 points. I am more optimistic about their chances to at least hang with Oklahoma.
There's 2 major things though. Offensive line and how many of those injured players are they going to get back? Jake, I can't tell you how important warm-ups are Saturday morning.
I think you got to know before Saturday.
Well, but we won't know. That's
I know, but this team, if they really want to believe they got a good chance, they need to know, hey, how many of these 5 guys that are banged up are going to be able to play? Are they practicing as of today or Thursday?
So they're probably practicing right now. I would love to be over there and see if any of those guys are back and what are they doing? Are they on the sideline? Are they working out? How close are they? That's what this is about to me. You got to get 3 of those guys back, I think. 3 of them.
That'd be great. Very
need Austin Allen in this game.
That would be also very great to have your top tight end on the team playing. And Vokalek. If you get them both back, Vokalek and Allen for this game. Boom. Hit them. Throw to those guys, though. Make sure they're part of the game plan.
They will.
Robin Wash it up next on an early break on the ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We'll see a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Cooler temps with an afternoon high of around 77. Winds turning out of the northeast at 10. Gradually clearing skies tonight, a low dropping down all the way to 52. Beautiful day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and a high pushing up near 80. That's a check of your forecast. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
The Army National Guard plays a vital role in your community. We're on the front lines supporting essential personnel, first responders, law enforcement, and medical professionals, delivering food, supplies, and medicine, keeping communities safe, making a difference. During emergencies, we're always ready, always there. Learn more about part-time service in the Army National Guard at nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station. Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation and offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, sewer and water underground repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. That's Select Plumbing at 402-560-6197.
888-978-9797.
Want to get a hot and perfect body fast? It's so easy. All you have to do is eat lots of bananas, but peels only, and always be sweating, but never look sweaty. That's disgusting.
Don't follow extreme routines. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness. Now through September 16th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. And get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends September 16th. See Club for details.
Deck City is Lincoln's DIY deck headquarters. With real deck professionals, they can help you throughout the entire process. They also offer financing for qualified customers. Deck City offers the best quality materials so you have a deck built to last. There's everything from Yellowwood lumber to the best quality TimberTech composites on the market and high quality aluminum railings by Westbury or Diamond Piers for easy footing install. For those looking to bring your wood deck back to life, they offer good proof ready seal stain. Deck City, your deck material headquarters, is now open Saturdays from 9 to 1, 2 blocks north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Really have enjoyed the phone calls today from all the listeners in preview of the Nebraska-Oklahoma game on Saturday. A lot of memories so far from listeners. And also, Greg, the last segment said that the Oklahoma fight song came from, quote, the pits of hell.
Boomer Sooner? I never get tired of it.
No. The song?
I don't. I like it. I think it's cool.
Except when they score 70
I
points.
got people going to hate me for saying that.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's college football, Jake.
Let's talk to Husker Online's Robin Washington. Robin, do you like Boomer Sooner, or does it drive you crazy?
True
I
feelings.
don't like it. I don't mind it. So it doesn't drive me crazy. So if I had to pick one, I'll side with Sip just because of the tradition aspect of it. You know, it's one of those like Boomer Sooner and then like Michigan's fight song, Notre Dame's fight song, or like some of the things that like when you think of college football, those are the songs you immediately come to your head.
Yeah, thank you. I heard Michigan's the other day, Robin, and I got the chills.
Michigan's is a great fight song. I'll give them props for that. That's probably one of my favorite fight songs.
Yeah.
Robin, as we look at this game, Nebraska opened as a 23-point underdog in Vegas. They have played better the last two games against Fordham and Buffalo, 28-3 win on Saturday. I mean, is there enough momentum from the past 2 weeks to believe that they can hang in this game and give the Sooners a 4-quarter game?
Well, I mean, if Tulane can do it, Nebraska can do it, but they're going to need a lot of stars to align. Nebraska is going to have to be close to flawless in all three elements to keep this game close into the fourth quarter. And, I think that's always possible if they can finally figure out a way to put it all together and execute at the level that they've shown flashes of being capable of. Then, yeah, sure, they can be competitive in this game, but, that's been a lot to ask over the last 3.5 years. And really the instances of them playing flawless football, I don't know if they exist yet. So that's the recipe for them to do it. I think that there's a chance they could do it, but am I confident that it will happen? No, not right now.
Robin Washington joins us from HuskerOnline.com. Let's keep it at football. Rob, what would you do at punt return if you were Nebraska's coach right now?
Well, they keep saying Cam Taylor-Britt gives him the most dynamic playmaker, but I haven't even seen him make a dynamic play back there. All I've seen is the other side of the coin to that. So I'd make a change, and I would just do safe return at this point. You're just not good enough to overcome those types of mistakes to where if you want to just get conservative in that element and take the change of possession and put your offense on the field. I think that's a risk that, or a bet that is more than safe to make at this point. Maybe Cam's showing stuff in practice, but that doesn't matter to me. If he's not doing it in games, there's no point in having him out there. So I think they should make a change, and they should probably, I guess, depends on who's healthy. I think obviously they believe Oliver Martin's the next best guy they have in that role, but is he healthy? And if not, then I'm probably putting Samori Toure back there just to have someone that is a veteran player that you trust to make that catch and avoid those game-changing turnovers that have been far too common in that element.
Robin, through 3 games, the offensive line has not been up to a great level so far. Again, a big test this weekend in Big Ten play continues after that. I'm curious, what do you do on the offensive line? Can they just get better automatically, or are we in for another rough season of offensive line play?
Well, I think that they should be better than what we've seen. But right now, what they've been doing is clearly not good enough. It's been probably the biggest disappointment, in my opinion, of this season, is just their inability to get any sort of consistent push off the line of scrimmage, particularly in the early down base running game. And until that happens, Nebraska's offense is going to be operating with one hand tied behind its back. And they're going to have to ask Adrian Martinez to continue to do literally everything for this offense.
Hike the ball to himself and block the middle guard.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Just put him out there with nobody else. They might be better off. But no, like that's, I think, the biggest key to all is you want to go ahead and be competitive against Oklahoma. You got to be able to run the football and have some sustained drives and take some of that pressure off Adrian. Because if you ask him to go out there and literally be a one-man show again, we've seen what happens when you're playing against good teams, let alone top 3 teams in the country. That can go south on you in a hurry. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him shake things up a little bit up front. Maybe with that interior offensive line. Maybe not, if they're not changing the starting lineup, then maybe rotating some other guys in earlier. I thought it was interesting when Sichterman went out for a little bit. They brought in Newelly,
right?
And all of a sudden they started popping, 7-8 yard run.
Oh, well, 11-yard run.
Yeah, or 11
and a 21-yard run.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that sometimes just having a new body out there can give you a little bit of life, even if it's somebody that in practice might not be playing at the same level. Sometimes guys provide a spark, and they're gamers, and maybe shaking things up a little bit, if not with your starting lineup, but with your rotation. That can help give you the lift you need on a group that is really underperforming right now.
What do you think of what? I guess I want to get to Luke Reimer. Luke Reimer had 16 tackles in that game. Robin, what stands out to you about Luke Reimer's play so far?
Well, that was as impressive of a linebacker performance as we've seen in a long time. I mean, in all aspects. Obviously his tackling was really good, and that 4th down stop.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
blew up.
I know that Barrett Root has said Luke Reimer has NFL potential if he continues on his trajectory. Like, that's the type of play that Mel Kiper's talking about during the NFL draft show, where you're chasing down a ball carrier and making a one-handed you versus the ball carrier type play that ends the possession. I mean, that's a big time play right there.
It is.
But you look at what else he did in coverage as well. I mean, his athleticism to be able to match up with not only tight ends but wide receivers and running backs makes him a really important piece to that defense. And I think with the Pro Football Focus grades, he had the second highest coverage grade of any Nebraska defender in a game so far this season. The only one that was ahead of him was Deontay Williams when he had those 2 picks against Fordham. So, I mean,
interesting.
He's 16 tackles, and then also covering as well as any Nebraska defender has covered this season. So Luke Reimer that's the potential that the staff has seen from him from literally the second practice he ever had here. And like I said, if he keeps on this track, you could be hearing his name at the next level as well.
Robin, if Nebraska were to win this football game on Saturday, how would that happen? Like, if that were the case, what do you think was the reason why that led to that?
Stayed out of their own way, and they made big plays down the field. You look at Oklahoma. I mean, every time I've watched them, how they're getting beat is people are torching their secondary. And so that's what I think Nebraska has to attack. They have to find a way to stretch the field and get some of those impact plays through the air. But for that to happen, you cannot just become one-dimensional, throw the ball 50 times, because that's just not going to work. So with the big passing play ability, you have to be able to run the ball consistently, keep Oklahoma's defense honest, and that will open up some of those plays. And then when you do stretch the field, you got to find a way to get the ball out quick. Oklahoma is an extremely fast defense, and if you sit there and have Adrian stand in the pocket for 7 seconds, it's not going to go well.
No.
I mean, those long developing routes are not going to work. And so they have to be able to be intentional with their passes, and they have to be aggressive in stretching the field and letting their playmakers. I mean, one of the strengths of offense is the wide receiver group when healthy. I guess that's a big part of this equation too. And one of the weaknesses with Oklahoma's defense is their secondary. They have to be able to exploit that matchup. And then with any game, cut the penalties, cut the turnovers, and try not to be a total disaster on special teams.
Yeah, be a good on special teams. How about be good on special
They
teams?
haven't done it for a long time.
Look, I'm taking it one step.
It's a lot to ask for this team. Robin, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
Sounds good, guys. See you later.
Husker Lions, Robin Washut.
That stuff on, Rob's stuff on Reimer was really good. He's exactly right. That play he made on that running back on 4th and 3 was that kind of stuff Kuiper would talk about. I mean, he got to that
played
ball.
Great.
He got to that ball so fast. Well, you've talked about that.
I love
before.
Reimer. I think he's
You've
excellent.
talked about Reimer, how quickly he gets to the ball. JoJo's like that too, by the way. They think about Reimer and JoJo. They have two really good linebackers, and I think Caleb Tanner's playing well too.
I just keep going back to we didn't know much about Reimer last year before the season, and in game 2 against Northwestern, I just remember him being a bullet, and they lost the game, but he made some plays. I'm like, dang, he's fast.
Gets to the ball fast. Gets to the ball really fast.
So I mean, he obviously played well the rest of the year, but that's the game that really sticks out to me was that. Let's play the game. So give us a call right now at 464-5685 for a chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe. You are 0-1 on the week. You know I'm in NFL season, so there's a lot of NFL questions for trivia. Today, this won't help you in fantasy football because you don't have this in fantasy football. NFL linebackers. What teams do these linebackers play for? Current ones. I'm not talking about Urlacher and guys like that. Guy is still playing
Dick
right
Butkus.
now. No.
Bears.
464-5685. Shut Up Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Dickdown Sip and Trivia. How would you say you feel about NFL linebackers and their teams?
I mean, only okay because there's 32 teams, and I can always hazard a guess.
You're helped by the fact that, again, this is not a fantasy football topic. That's only offense and kickers and defenses in terms of full. You don't get to play individual defenders on fantasy football, so you should be okay there. Austin, how do you feel about NFL linebackers?
So.
All right, let's get to it. First question goes to Austin. Austin, what team does linebacker Roquan Smith play for?
Oh, I got it.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right, this is good. I got a steal.
He is not
I got a
on
steal.
the Steelers.
I watched this guy on Sunday night. He plays for the Bears.
Chicago Bears is right. A 1-0 lead on the steal. Sit for a 2-0 lead. Your first question. What team does Miles Jack play for?
Oh, Miles Jack. I know the dude.
Miles Jack.
Yeah,
5 seconds.
Where'd he play?
UCLA.
Yeah.
5, 4.
Okay.
3.
This is an Urban Meyer thing. He plays for the Jaguars.
Wow. Look at
Brilliant.
that. Doug
Miles
Deep
Jack.
got it right.
So he's
2-0
played for
lead.
them for 3 years?
About 3 or 4. I don't know. He's been there for a while. All right, to stay alive, Austin, your last question, down 2-0. What team does linebacker Devin Bush play for?
Oh, former Michigan.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, what team does linebacker Devin Bush play for?
He's actually a Steeler.
There you go. He is a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Would have definitely got that.
This is to win the game. If you miss this,
is
Austin
amazing.
can steal and go to the tiebreaker. Last question, Sip, to put it away.
Give me a Cowboy.
What team does Darius Leonard play for? Star linebacker.
Star
Darius,
linebacker?
he's a star linebacker in the National Football League. Darius Leonard.
Staring at the teams.
5 seconds on Darius Leonard.
He plays. I was in the stadium. I was in the stadium with DP, with Happer. Darius, he's got to be a Colt.
Indianapolis Colts.
Yes. Brilliant.
Where did that come from?
Well, I was in the stadium. I'm fairly familiar with the Colts.
Austin, thanks for calling. We'll get you a bagel and a coffee, but call in down the road.
Yeah,
nice try this morning.
Hey, what? I want to see my record, Harris.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
This guy right there.
Oh, there it is. Am I 5-3 or 6-3?
Let's go 6-3 now because you won today.
6-3 since the reset.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm trying to keep my head above 500. That's my goal in life right now, Jake.
Well, you're doing a good job so far in the reset. You got your 4th or 5th reset on the show, maybe 6th or 7th. I have no idea. Been a lot of resets, but you're actually doing well this time in the reset. So congrats to you,
Harrison. Keep that tally going.
He will.
That's one of your main parts of your job.
Is to keep the tally alive. Well,
yes.
Nice win today.
Thank you.
Honestly, I didn't think you get 3 questions right.
That's strange. Well, I told you I watched LA and Chicago. Chicago's actually got 2 pretty good inside linebackers. Who's the other one? Help me out. Roquan Smith, the
Chicago?
Bears. Yeah. They got a guy alongside him who's pretty good.
It's not Lance Briggs anymore. Forget it.
No, they have a pretty good guy next to him.
I know. I don't watch it close enough defensively.
But I was struck because I thought that guy was pretty good. Then they said Roquan Smith plays alongside him. I'm like, wow, they got 2 pretty good inside backers.
The Bears like defense. They weren't great defending the deep ball, but they're usually okay. The spillover with Happer and Schaefer is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket. Each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the team and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, sponsored by Southeast Community College and M Street Drive-In.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
You could close out 2021 winning $2,022 and go on to win $1 million at the beginning of 2022 in the Nebraska Lottery's Powerball's Rockin' 15 promotion. Until September 25th, buy a Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter for a chance to be one of 15 lucky people to win $2,022 and a chance to win $1 million at the start of the new year. It's a promotion that truly rocks. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Angry about a recent Nebraska football loss? Go throw axes at Kraft Axe Throwing. Optimistic about the upcoming Nebraska football game? Go sign up for free football tickets at Kraft Axe Throwing.
Bring some friends, reserve a bay for an hour or more, release anger at the targets by hucking an axe at it, and walk away feeling better about yourselves and the football season, just in time to enter for a chance to win a free pair of tickets to the next home game as you walk out the door. Reserve your lane online at craftaxethrowing.com or call 402-802-9696. Craft Axe Throwing at 18th and N in Lincoln.
Liberty First Credit Union is here to help you save time and money. Get a consolidation loan and conveniently combine all of your loans into one, leaving you with one fixed payment and one low-rate loan. Not a member? That's okay. Join Liberty First Credit Union at any of the 4 Lincoln locations, Seward, and in Omaha at 108th and L Street. Start saving with Liberty First Credit Union. Apply for a consolidation loan now at libertyfirstcu.com today. Approval required. Equal opportunity lender. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Hi, Andy Neal of Cartridge World. We are not a big box store that sells everything and specializes in nothing. Cartridge World is your local expert when it comes to streamlining office printing and scanning. No big box can match our proven no-cost lease program. We customize solutions that supply you with multifunction printers and all the required service just for buying Cartridge World ink and toner at a 30% savings. Call for a no-cost consultation, 464-3455, or go online to cartridgeworld.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Time for the spillover with Connor Happer. Mike Schaefer will be here shortly, I'm sure. Happer, I was talking with Sip. Yes. At 6:45, that segment about how I thought that the broadcast with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning was incredible last night. If there's no reason for you to watch the normal ESPN broadcast with Levy and those guys anymore.
That was a lot of fun.
What do you think, Happer?
The problem is the Steve Levy one is just so bad.
It is.
That I would watch anything else. Like, I just don't think Steve Levy is good. People in the industry seem to have this respect for Steve Levy, and maybe he's I'm sure he's a good guy. He is horrible at play-by-play.
Holy crap.
He's just not good.
Hap.
And
Good at SportsCenter, though.
Yes, he's fine at SportsCenter. And then they started making him do football games,
You're right.
and it doesn't make sense. But yeah, the Peyton Eli thing was entertaining. They had Travis Kelce on there. They had
Jake loved it.
Russell Wilson on there.
Fantastic.
It was really funny just watching those guys sit. They were at one point they were talking about like swag or something like that, and they were wearing like button up pastel collar shirts. You know, they look like Southern white dudes. And Travis Kelce sitting there like talking about swag and stuff like that. It was those guys are money. Those
Jake
guys are
said
good
it was
TV.
a 10 times better broadcast than the ESPN main.
It's just
thing.
entertaining. You learn something from it. It was interesting to hear those guys talk. They were a great perspective. They brought Russell Wilson in. They had Travis Kelce on.
I thought more than that. I just appreciated like Peyton's obvious love for football.
Dude, that dude loves
he
the
was
game.
he was
loves
just in awe of everything that happened. Like he was sitting on his couch just like we were sitting on ours. He's like, whoa, at the end of the game they're all like, what just happened? Is the game over? So I don't know. It was like watching the game with Peyton and Eli.
Did you watch that broadcast?
Schaefer's here.
I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't watch the Manning broadcast.
Wow.
And Happer well knows. Like, so basically, more or less I left. Brian Edwards. What I thought was either a touchdown or the ball's at the inch line. I was like, all right, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Turn off the TV. Leave. Like, I'm laying in bed and I still have my watch on and I get these texts from Happer and it's just like, oh no. And I was like, did I miss something?
Well,
yes, you did.
Often we had the conversation about Lamar Jackson last week, and we went back and forth a lot. We were going back and forth a lot during the game because Lamar is like a roller coaster. He's like really, really great 1 second and then horrible the next second. And so I texted him another thing about Lamar, And then he said, "What? The game was over." And I said, "Oh no.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I had
You
no
don't know.
idea.
You don't know the Raiders, man. They
The game-
find ways to lose
game
or make
is
it
not
interesting.
over.
So it wasn't until this morning when I went to go collect my phone and just like read through what had happened.
The Raiders hard counted themselves on the 1 yard line and got a false start from it because they didn't score.
Started on a hard count.
On a hard count. They're trying to get the defense for some reason at the 1 yard line. You're already at the 1. What are you going to do with
I don't know
that?
if it was a hard count. I think it was just like they were going on 2 or something like that.
Manny thought it was a hard count.
It was weird.
No.
Regardless, it was
Jake was
he had a
watching.
5-yard
Jake was
penalty.
listening to Manny.
And then yeah, I listened to Peyton's every word he
Yes,
said.
he did.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But if you didn't watch it this week, I encourage you next week to watch it.
They're going to do it again?
I think it's an every week thing.
I
Is
think
it
so
not?
too.
I think
Did
it's-
they
I
announce
think
that? Because I thought that before people were talking about it as a one-off.
Oh,
I thought this was an every week thing.
Maybe it is.
If it isn't, that's sad for everybody watching.
If it is an every week thing, like what is ESPN doing to their primary
That's what I asked Jake.
football? Like
Then you're cutting
they're
into the
basically
ratings.
just, it's sort of amazing that you're the largest media property in the world for sports, and you don't have anyone that you like for your football.
They're still
broadcast.
showing the commercials and everything though, as it is on the actual ESPN broadcast.
It's not about the advertising. It's about like what you're doing to the people that you put in position to be your one team. Like it's a huge deal to be play-by-play in color for Monday Night Football.
Okay, so
Okay, Happer's got it figured.
this is from today. Over the next 3 seasons, Peyton and Eli will host an alternate broadcast of Monday Night Football titled Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli, which will air on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. The brothers will broadcast 10 games in each of those years for a total of 30. So
about half the season.
Not every
not
week.
every game.
Yeah.
That sucks. I wanted every game. That was that was awesome.
10 in a season. That's pretty.
That's
good.
Well, I mean, if
I
the-
want that every week.
If the ratings go that way, then ESPN will take a dump truck full of money.
Well, this
to
is
Peyton's
basically the
house
alternative to him
Yeah.
being on the actual broadcast. Which,
Right, which,
really-
I mean, if he's this good, and I didn't listen to it.
It was just it was fun.
And
A
I'm
lot of
not
fun.
surprised. that
Finish
he's
your
really good
thought.
at it.
If he's this good, just make him one of the color
Well,
guys,
yeah,
like
just-
Romo, right?
I think it's what they tried to do, and he was
I don't
like,
think he wants
actually,
it.
yeah, I was like, actually,
Well,
I want
not-
to do this.
I'm not
Because he
working with
wants to
Steve
do
Levy.
different stuff.
Because
Like,
remember, he was like he wanted to. I don't know if he wanted to work, but he's like at his house. That's the whole thing. Like I don't think he
Right.
wants to travel or anything. He just wants to sit there and BS about football while it's happening and still get
And
paid.
get paid, yeah.
Which he's a fascinating guy, and my view on Peyton Manning from what it was when I was like a young kid, and you basically Nebraska plays him, and it's like, oh, this guy's annoying. I don't like him. Whatever. Early in his NFL career, like I'm excited because he keeps losing in the big game, and then it sort of like flips halfway through his time with the Colts, where it's like, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
And then he gets with the Broncos, and it's like, how the hell is he still doing this? You have all the like little like the commercials in between.
Yeah, and
the
he's got
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Like, he
He's
became
funny.
this
He has
like
a sense of
incredible
humor.
He does.
like
Yeah.
this incredible personality that
Yeah.
I never would have thought, just based on this like weird hatred that I felt was coached into me when Nebraska played him in '97.
Well, they're New Orleans guys, right? The New Orleans people are generally pretty quirky and funny, and the Mannings are quirky and funny. They're
Yeah,
funny.
they
I
are.
mean, they're
And they're quirky.
Sometimes
Yeah.
unintentionally, like Eli will sit there and just with his mouth open the whole
He's got
time.
this big grin going like, what the heck, man? What are you doing?
Like he's staring off into
It just
space.
looks odd. Yeah.
What was the thing with the quarters?
That's true.
Really? What?
So, like, he asked Ray Lewis if he'd rather have $10,000 in cash or Peyton Manning's helmet full of quarters, like joking about how large Peyton Manning's head is. Someone tweeted that, and I'm like,
That's
that's
pretty
an
funny.
incredible insult
That's pretty
to your
funny.
own brother on national TV.
Yeah, well, they jibe each other the whole time.
The only thing that I put in the Ray Lewis one is like they kept going to break every 5 seconds because there was like this weird disruption in the game, and so they kept sending it to break, and they didn't know when they were
didn't
going
know.
to break. They just kept talking, and then the producer would come over and be like, "You're going to break right now," and the conversation would not stop. They would
You just talk through the break, come back, it's like nothing happens.
This is the spillover, by the way.
Yeah,
everybody
that's
was
right.
wondering.
Yeah.
We also
Break
don't go
is
to
simple.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also
we'll go to
This
break.
is the spillover.
It is. Before we get to we're out of here, USC fires Clay Helton yesterday.
finally.
Yeah. After 2 games. Why don't you just do it in the offseason? You're going to do it,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Do it
either
before
like
this year.
they just weren't ever able to secure the coach that they wanted in the it has to be what it is.
Urban
Like,
Meyer.
Otherwise, I also don't get so USC's done this now 3 straight times where you fire a guy in September?
Early. Yeah.
And it hasn't obviously resulted in getting a coach that's sustained longevity at your program. Maybe stop firing a coach 2 games into the season because it hasn't helped you.
Maybe Dante Williams can earn the win.
I mean, I'm excited for him. I have some real doubts that it's going to go particularly well, but
I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Whoa, he's the interim head coach of USC."
The whole reason that that is speculated they're doing that is that his ties to that recruiting class is really strong. So it's try to keep those guys as long as possible.
No doubt. That's the first thing I thought.
I also suspect it's if he looks good while doing it, but not head coach material, the next coach will try to keep him.
Yeah. It can't be Dante Williams the next.
No.
But is it Urban Meyer? Does he go after 1 year in Jacksonville?
He's got a job. I'm not sure I understand the Urban
if
Meyer
it goes
stuff.
so badly in Jacksonville, he might just say, "This isn't for me."
He's had jobs before, and then magically he just can't do them to the completion of the time of which it's expected.
Right, you're right.
Health
I get
concerns.
it. I guess if it goes bad there, yeah. I like the idea of James Franklin.
There was already a report out yesterday that the players everybody's on edge and stuff, like this is the beginning of
the whole Urban Meyer thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's on edge.
Do you remember what Bobby Petrino did when he left the Atlanta to go back to was it, Louisville?
Yeah, I think it was Louisville.
I think it was it Louisville or Western Kentucky?
I think it was Western Kentucky the second time.
He quit.
Yeah, it was Louisville.
He quit in the middle,
not Western.
Or was it? Did he go back to Arkansas? I forget how the timeline
that's
works.
what it was.
Yeah.
He quit in the middle of the season and just left a note in the locker room. And DeMario Williams and other I have never seen an NFL player talk about a coach publicly the way that Bobby Petrino was just completely destroyed.
Yeah, he went to Arkansas.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
It says Wikipedia says he informed his players with a 4-sentence laminated note left at the locker of each player.
Yeah. Just I'm out.
Yeah.
See you
Sorry,
later.
guys.
I wonder what it said.
Not
What
for
if
me.
it was a heartfelt?
Got a hog to ride in Arkansas.
Yeah, and then that was the other time he left the job.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I wonder what it said
he's
on
got
the
interesting
laminated note.
I don't have the words of it. It just says a 4-sentence letter to every one of his players.
Maybe
It'd be a nice thing
When
to
you
add.
do a DeMario Williams column, he can give you the laminated.
Do you have the card still from Bobby Petrino?
It's pretty interesting.
There's no way he has the card.
No,
I don't
he's
think he cares
he's
very
like,
much.
that guy sucks.
He's holding on to it to give to Canton someday.
There's the music.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7! Hot route! Down, set, hut.
It's only one game, but do you feel okay about the Raiders' chances of maybe making a playoff push this year? Do you like what you saw from them last
I
night?
don't think much changes for me. Schaefer seems high on them.
Yeah, I already had him third in the division just behind Denver. The Chargers were the team that I'm sort of down on. That division looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I would say both of those teams last night would win the NFC North. So
They feel like
they
an
should
8-9, 9-8 to me.
That sounds about right. Happer and Schaefer's up next for Steve Sipple. I am Jake Sorensen.
See ya.